Hey, Brandon.
How's it going?
Good. Gilbert and I recorded the 99th episode of Editor today.
Oh,
How does that make you feel?
I feel like the most exciting episodes yet to come.
Oh, boy. Always looking to the future.
Yeah.
Hey, Lauren, we're recording episode 99 of Editor today. How does that make you feel?
I am surprised it's already 99. But at the same time, I'm not, because it's been
Weeks and weeks and weeks.
99.
Watermelon.
Watermelon. What's up, Linus?
Can you see me?
Yes.
We can.
It's
I
glorious.
can't see myself.
Don't worry about
I
it.
was wondering. Yeah, are you grabbing laundry or no? Are you gonna be okay?
I only got like a minute or two before they
Great.
come back.
Yeah, they close really soon. So, all right, pull out the car. Yeah, go for it.
Linus, what if you've only got a minute?
Oh,
or two,
Scott
what
is in space. I love it.
Gilbert, mute your mic. I'm going to get a quote from Linus.
Okay.
Linus, what does 99 nearly 100 episodes of Editor? You've actually like listened to most of them. How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel good. I thought that after 2 or 3 episodes, this would never go anywhere. So I'm shocked that it went almost 2 years.
I'm shocked as well. Yes.
And I'm proud of both of you for sticking with it so long.
Oh, that means so much. Thank you. What where are you today? Where are you going?
Gettysburg right now.
That's amazing. Is there any like reenacting stuff, or is it just walking around having fun?
Just walking around, yeah, doing stuff. And then we're at it's a candy store actually that they wanted to stop at.
Ooh.
They're in there getting candy.
What kind of candy do they have? Is it just assorted stuff? They just have everything? It's not like a specialty.
Mr. Ed's. And there's a big elephant out front.
Oh, not it wasn't Mr. Ed a horse?
Yeah.
It's
An elephant. I don't know.
Talking horse, talking elephant. Very cool. This is so cool that you got to even just pop in for a hot minute. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise. Linus, I appreciate it. I'm going to jump in before you head out to say thank you so much for listening.
Yes.
And
Are you all
it's
right,
really cool.
Gilbert,
It
by
really
the
does
way?
mean a lot. It really does mean a lot.
Are you doing all right, Gilbert? Did you get
I'm doing so. Elise made me take medicines, and I can't really do opioids, so she gave me a muscle relaxer and a bunch of Advil, and we'll explain what all that means later.
It's funny that Kyle's wearing a Tesla shirt after what happened.
I think it was intentional. I noticed. Kyle with the and Javi is literally driving a Tesla right now with this. We could see the sky through the roof. You know, it turns out when the roof is removed, you can still see the sky. I found out all about that.
Yeah.
You know what was interesting, guys, is when the roof. Well, I didn't hear what you said, Javi.
Yes,
sorry.
he does have a
Say again?
convertible Tesla now.
Yeah, that is something we commented on later while we were lying in wait. Is that it really is cool to make a convertible Tesla. And then also when the roof comes off, we thought it was going to be like raining glass all over. And some glass, we obviously got glass all up in ourselves and all that, but that could have come from any of them. But it actually came off in one big sheet. And like the people rolled it up and shoved it in the back seat off when they took it off the freeway. When they scraped it up off the floor and put it on the freeway. So it actually... That gives me a little bit of peace of mind that it's not going to just rain like shards of glass all over you. Linus, though, if you're still there listening, that's awesome. And also, yeah, again, seriously, thanks for listening so much, man. I appreciate it.
I'm going to be going
And
now.
I love your honest feedback.
Yes.
Always.
Thanks for stopping by. See ya.
Yep. Yeah.
I appreciate your patience, folks. It really means a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah, spending your Saturday afternoon or morning with us. But we really wanted you to be here for our near 100 episode.
Javi, how do you feel about 90s movies in general?
Are those black and white?
You're the product of the... Are you a product of the 90s? You are, right? I can't remember. Or
Yeah,
like
1990
90.
best year.
Best year. Nice. That's amazing. That is amazing.
What?
Scott is a product of, I think, the 40s. He's
How old
the
do you
elder
think I
statesman.
am?
Well, do the math, Scott. I think you're like what 80, almost 82.
Well, in that case, not too bad.
Scott, what was it like
too bad. You did great.
getting talkies? Getting
Oh yes,
getting
the
color
talkies.
TV.
Yeah, that's
Well, what you don't know is
that's a
the
great
whole world
topic.
was actually black and white up until the mid '80s.
That's what I've heard.
That's
That's
yeah. Then
what I've-
they introduced color into the world. It was very. It was quite
That's
a change.
remarkable. Oh man, my camera. So I am technically on video, except
no, you're just a little
No.
box.
no, my garage camera keeps telling me that someone's in the garage, so I have to mute it.
I guess it's me, garage. Yeah, no,
I don't have a shirt on because we're out of clothes. So you're definitely not getting me.
how does that happen?
When you take all your clothes to a laundry service and you forget to pick it up because of reasons.
Because, yeah, I was on the call when you were dropping off your clothes for some reason.
Wait,
missed it.
Mark is here. Mark is here.
Oh my god, I'm still.
Whoa. That is amazing.
We're in a plane.
What?
Scott, Kyle,
Oh my
looks like
God.
you're wearing a funny hat.
I'm taking a screenshot.
This is amazing.
This is amazing.
I love it. I wish I was on video just for this.
Like, what is this trying to recreate, though? Like,
Oh,
people have meetings in airplanes.
together mode. That's poignant.
Yeah.
We got to get Linus's picture in there too. That
I
could be
wonder
if
what
there's
this
any-
is going to do to call recorder. If this is going to like totally ruin my call recorder.
interesting.
It should be
That's a good
okay.
point.
Video.
Because
Yeah.
you can have it set to ignore video.
Oh no, I'm
You
totally
can-
recording video.
You do video, but also
you guys
does
do
it-
like I said vlog, but whatever.
yeah,
You
video
do record
podcast.
video. Oh, for some reason my camera's not working.
I
Sorry.
try to.
The call's
You'll
breaking
have
up.
to- So, for those who don't know, in this scattered opening here, Mark has joined us. Mark of the titular Markive.
Oh my god. Wait, is this the show?
You just missed Linus. Yes,
It's
this
always
is the
the
show.
show.
It's always the show.
Always recording.
Oh my god.
We
Welcome,
love
Mark.
you,
At
Mark.
least-
Thank you so much.
At least
for
until I
coming,
lose
man.
power.
Yeah.
On your Mac.
Wait, do they know that story?
I don't think they do know that.
Yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I know. Are you recording on your MacBook that only has one USB port?
Oh, if only.
No. Earlier on Thursday, Mark and I and some others were recording a narrated episode, and my power just suddenly went out in the whole house, and so
Oh, you're full
I
power.
dropped
You're
off.
power. Wow.
Yes, the power, like not.
Oh my goodness. Do you want me to send you one of my EcoFlow batteries?
Have a bad.
I picked.
I was
did
just
pick
about to
one.
I was about to make a joke about how Gilbert was gonna say something about a solution for the problem, and
Then I beat you to it with the solution.
Mark, if you have
did-
to leave soon, you just missed Linus, and I asked him this question. Editor's nearly 100 episodes. This is the 99th episode. What does it mean to you? How do you feel having listened to a lot of these rambling episodes?
Having skimmed with the best of them.
Oh, that question is for me. I thought you were summarizing what Linus had said.
No, yeah, the question, Linus just answered the question, so I'm asking you since you have to go.
Oh, well, we'll see when I have to go. I am getting flashbacks to when I was on and did have to leave abruptly. So we'll see if it's a repeat of history. So wait, the question is, what do I think of episode 99? I think it's great so far.
Yes, great. I appreciate that. But like all of the 99 episodes that
All the great shows.
what does it mean to you? What is having
I
been
mean,
a
it's
part
okay
of,
if it means nothing to you.
Oh,
in
God,
fact,
what have I done?
Ooh, he's on the screen.
Wait, so
Bring Ed back.
Oh, I'm on the. Is this an airplane? What is happening?
It's a
don't know.
Russian cosmonaut.
Okay.
Is Ed framed up at all? I can't
yeah,
tell.
it's great.
it says Halo. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
in the
because I
video.
have the light is on the background, so it does kind of look like my head is on fire.
Oh, I thought Mark
Let me
was
just
wearing
see
a
it.
Halo shirt for a second. I was very confused.
Now it looks like you stepped out of the
Oh,
airplane.
way worse. Okay. Hold on, wait, let me see. Awful in another way.
Under the sea.
Actually, this is like a little Gilbert vibe. I could just put that mic right like half in front of my face.
There you go. I used to be called Little Gilbert when I was a kid because my dad, even though he was gone, they still remembered him, and his name is Gilbert, so everybody called me Little Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
Not Junior.
So I got Junior later on.
Is this upscale Tatooine?
Or is it the bar from The Shining? Not quite.
I thought he said upscale tattooing instead of Tatooine at first.
This is where the rich folk of Tatooine go.
Very nice.
Not the moisture farmers.
Oh, Mark, look, he has like a full-on emperor look. Right
I know. I was just thinking that the darkness.
amazing.
Well, it's either emperor or I have a halo /
Angel.
my forehead is the fire of a
Right.
thousand suns.
So let's
oh my gosh.
well, I cut Mark off. Welcome to editor.
Welcome to Editor, episode 99,
With special guests, the Markive.
the Markive. Very brief hello from Linus. Mark could jump at any moment, so let's jump into it.
Sounds good.
Where am I?
I was gonna say I have absolutely no notes. Did you update the thing?
Yeah, I did. I think everyone would love to hear the story of what happened yesterday, Gilbert.
Okay. Was it yesterday? I guess it falls into yesterday.
Kind of a
doesn't it?
quiet week, right?
I consider all of that yesterday. Very quiet week for our 99th episode. But it ended with a trip to the Hollywood Bowl. Gilbert, who did you see?
We saw the amazing, miraculous Erykah Badu, the brilliant Erykah Badu. The show was astounding. We were fortunate enough to sit in the pool circle, so we were like 15 to 20 feet from her, depending on where she was standing.
Amazing.
And we were in that zone, that weird zone in the Hollywood Bowl because of the way the audio is set up, where you hear the instruments and musicians first, and you hear their monitors and their stack. And even though the monitors are very directional, you can still very much hear that first, and from that close, and then you hear it again, like slightly on a slight delay as it projects to the audience. And so when you're watching the drummer, he seems out of sync with real life. So it's really interesting, but it was still a great audio experience. Although the two opening acts were absolutely horrific. They had probably some of the worst audio problems I've ever seen at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh no!
They brought their own stack, and then they were outputting from their board to the Hollywood Bowl board, and nobody was managing their board. And they had a bunch of bad XLR cables, it seemed, because before Erykah came on, a bunch of techs came out and replaced basically like easily 20 XLR cables. And so my sister happened to be in the audience as well. She was sitting in the the seats way behind us, and she said that all they could hear is a bunch of static. They couldn't hear a bunch of the leads, the backup singers. They couldn't hear a bunch of instruments, so they could hear drums and static and a little bit and too low of the lead voice singers. So it was a bummer, but we got to hear a little bit more of that, just given the proximity. But the show was amazing. The show was absolutely amazing. Elise, my wife, is named Elise. We went on a bit of a date. Kids stayed back home with a babysitter. And it was one of those nights where we do the thing where we drive home late, and usually it's not too bad. I've gotten quite used to it, and it's we have autopilot on the car, or had, and it usually gets us home safely, and we get home safely. It's mainly a straight shot, and actually there's a detriment to that. And it turns out that at night on straight roads that are long, a lot of people, and we're talking like over 100 miles of straight road basically, a lot of people fall asleep on the road. And we weren't one of them. We were quite lucid. We were actually having a good time and a good conversation, and no drugs or alcohol or any crazy shit like that. And yeah, we were set to be home in about an hour and 15 minutes. But before that, about 25.
You were just north of Bakersfield before.
Yeah, about
McFarland,
25 more
USA.
miles north of Bakersfield. Yeah, near Famoso, just south of McFarland. Yeah. a driver out of nowhere was traveling about 91 miles per hour and slammed into us from behind. And he hit us slightly right of center, and our car spun 270 degrees counterclockwise, or for our European listeners, anti-clockwise, which I'm very anti-clockwise because that just doesn't make any sense. But counterclockwise, and our car hit the center divider on the freeway. We were in the middle lane, so we crossed one lane and we crossed the shoulder and hit the center divider backwards. So when we did that, the car popped up, and then it just, physics took over, which Scott can tell us all about, and the car started rolling. And it rolled 3 times, and during that time, I could see my wife's face. We both realized we were both asking the same question, like, when is this going to stop rolling? Because it seemed like forever. And I had a lot of thoughts. Like, I didn't have like one of those like life flashing before my eyes thoughts, but I thought about, oh shit, the kids. I thought about, I can't believe I'm seeing my wife go through this right now. And I also thought about holding myself. So I put my hand on the roof, which right as we got nailed and started tumbling, I did touch the glass ceiling of the Tesla. And then I actually felt it disappear. And then when that happened, that's when I got a bunch of glass embedded in my palm. The whole roof, to our surprise later on, sheared off as one big sheet. And but even when it does that, like little bits will get out, and also the bits from the windows and the windshield and the back window. And the car rolled. It came to a stop. We were upright. We were upright, thankfully. Kyle, you made the good point, like it's a loaded die, and Javi had made the point prior that Teslas aren't really designed to flip, but I realize they're really good at not rolling over, and we managed to roll one 3 times, which is really hard to do. That requires a lot of momentum. But I realized 2 things. One, the driver hit us from behind, and he crushed our back end before we hit the center divider, which means the car is designed to crumple. And when we hit the center divider, all that crumpling absorption for material had been taken away. So we hit the center divider. That was probably the hardest impact. Because as Javi pointed out, when he hit us, there was only about an 18 mile per hour differential. So the first hit wasn't bad. It was just off center. So it ended up sending us spinning. And I vividly remember trying to counter steer out of that spin. And when I look at the video, I could actually see the car delay, and I was drifting for a split second, but the momentum was just too much. And once we hit the dirt, we spun freely because the road changed, because the shoulder was dirt there. And once we hit the back, the second impact in the back wall was whatever speed had subtracted during the spin, basically into a stationary object, which that was the hardest by far. And that popped the car up, which has then allowed it to roll over. And then we were very, very thankful that it landed upright. And when it landed upright, I looked up and realized that there was no roof on the car again. And I looked at Elise, and she was understandably in shock, like literally like what you imagine, like shock during trauma. And for some reason, Kyle, maybe it's your fault, but also I'm kind of meticulous about this. For some reason, the first thing I did was I put on my phone, and I found my phone. We couldn't find Elise's phone, and also I was missing a shoe, and my foot had stepped in a bunch of glass. It turns out my shoe had jettisoned out of the roof while we were spinning. A bunch of stuff flew out of the roof, our clothes, a bunch of our gear and stuff like that, and it was strewn up across the freeway. Some of it we couldn't get back because the CHP wouldn't let us go and retrieve it. Yeah. And they basically swept it up and put it in, one of those, like their little, little dumpster for the purpose that some of it goes on the tow truck. Some of it gets shoved back in the car, like the top roof, like the roof and all the parts from the trunk and everything that had fallen about. And they bring that with the tow. But we lost a lot of stuff. And
it was your red Croc, your Crocs.
Yeah, it had come off. Yeah. And also weirdly, my regular New Balances, of which I have 17 pairs, had flown out. Elisa's Chucks had flown out, and all clothes and suitcase and all that stuff. And the first thing I did was I turned on my phone and I started recording video of, and I haven't shown you guys this video because it's hard for me to watch. And during that video, I'm checking on Elise, and I doing the normal, like, I don't know, for some reason I was in like, my adrenaline was spiked. I knew I was doing a verbal assessment of like what was going on with Elise. And I was asking her like emergency questions, like, Elise, are you okay? Can you move your limbs? Can you move your legs? You need to lie back. And she's looking at me, making eye contact. And once I realized she was okay, I started assessing the situation. I said, okay, there's a number of things, and this is all on video, by the way, guys. I said, okay, I'm missing a shoe. My foot is bleeding. My hand is bleeding. I can't feel my left side. My arm is really hurting. My chest is hurting. But we're okay. We're both alive. We're both breathing. We don't seem to have collapsed lungs or anything. I might have a broken rib. And I said, okay, the side curtains have deployed. The front airbags didn't go off. The windshield's gone. The roof is gone. I don't think we can get out of the car. I tried operating the emergency lever that Teslas have, because if the battery dies, they have a secondary backup lever that doesn't require the battery. And I said, okay, this doesn't work. I didn't try to push very hard. Okay, so we're trapped. And so right as I said that, and then I started saying, and I knew this was a risk. I vividly remember, but I had to get it on video. I said, okay, there's an issue with the fact that there's a fire risk. This is an electric car. The battery, I can smell coolant. I can see, fluids all over the floor. That must be battery coolant. And then Elise started, getting even more nervous. So I stopped. I said, Elise, it's okay. Let's lie down. And then I stopped videoing from there. Right after I stopped videoing, the guy who had hit us had run across the street, across the several lanes of freeway, at least 3 lanes of freeway. And I don't know how close we were to an exit. So it might've been 4. And he said, are you guys okay? And I said, who are you? And he says, I'm the guy who hit you. And I said, why did you do that, man? Are you okay? And
oh my God.
he said, I'm fine. I think I fell asleep. And I might be projecting that because he did mumble something because he responded, and I might actually be manufacturing that memory because, again, that part's not on video. Because right then, 3 bystanders came and looked over the roof because they couldn't see through the windows because all the airbags would block them. And they said, hey, are you okay? And they ushered him away.
Right.
They took him away. And presumably they took him across the freeway, but I know that one gentleman had an extremely bright, high quality flashlight, and he was like looking at us with it. And I thought maybe he was law enforcement, but he was just a civilian. And he was starting to direct traffic away from us because cars were zipping past us. And I felt every time a car would pass us at 70 to 90 miles per hour, which people do routinely on the 99, the speed limit there was 70 miles per hour. I had the autopilot locked into 73, but they were zipping past us, and every time they would do that, the car would vibrate.
Sure.
It would shake. And I thought, wow, we're really close we must be really close to regular traffic, but we had actually landed mostly in the shoulder, which thankfully, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So the K-rail did its job in that it's designed to keep the car sucked to the K-rail. That's probably how those walls are designed, but also it also popped us up, and that's what caused us to flip. It probably wouldn't have been horrific if we hadn't rolled so many times, but another gentleman said, hey, I saw everything. I was behind the guy who hit you. He was going 1,000,000 miles an hour. I have a dash cam. I caught it on my dash cam. And I said, I wonder if my car caught it on the dash cam too. Later I would find out it did. And there's some pretty crazy footage of that. I still haven't seen his footage or received it. I did specifically trade information with him, and then I started recording again. I said, this person's name is such and such. He says he saw it on video. And then I tried standing up, and I had a hard time standing up because my seat had reclined all the way down for some reason. I don't know why. It wouldn't recline back up, so those motors were dead. I just think that maybe part of the shock absorption is the seat's designed like Volvos. They're designed to collapse, and then it just wouldn't move from there. Volvos do the same thing. The seats will actually shift in certain types of collisions, like rear end specifically, so that you don't get whiplash. I have minor whiplash. Elise says she doesn't feel like she has it. She had it before. She's had it before, so she knows. But I stood up and this is the very first time I had what Javier said was, I made a Tesla convertible. I had the very first thought, like, I am standing outside the roof of my Tesla, and this is like a convertible. I had this thought. This is what I was thinking. And I looked around me and surveyed, and while taking video, and it was crazy. It was a mess of debris and clothes and gear and shoes and fluids and all this stuff. And then the guy said, sit back down. You need to rest. We've already called the authorities and all that. and they did that. They called, and the fire department came, the paramedics came, and then eventually at some point the CHP came.
How long
But
did it take for those to show up?
The CHP was at least 30 minutes. The paramedics and the fire department were probably 15 minutes. They were a very short period of time, relatively speaking, but the CHP took a while. The paramedics, or the fire department rather, they extracted us. They were able to open the door. They had to pull it pretty hard, but I could have probably opened it if I pushed, but I couldn't really push with my left side anyway. So there probably wasn't as much risk as I was worried about with, like if there was a fire, we probably would have been able to get out. In worst case, we would have just hopped over the roof. And turns out nothing went on fire. The battery casing or whatever, I guess, did its job, even though there were fluids. They were worried that the first one of the fire department guys said, "No, this is battery acid." I said, "No, it's not battery acid, guys. It's lithium. But there is a fire risk, and they should know that." I'm kind of blown away. I said, "There's a small battery in the front that's a secondary backup battery that has acid in it. Don't worry about it." And then I said, "I want to show you where to cut this line, because it cuts off the contacts of the battery so that it doesn't produce any power, and it basically severs all the parallelization through the batteries." So you open the hood. I had them open the hood. They pried it open, and then they ripped off the panel, and then I had them cut the line. There's a big red cable in Teslas that for the fire department. It even has a little fire helmet logo, and it tells them to cut this line. So I had them cut that, and then they tended to us because I guess we were messed up. But I said, we got the kids at home, they're safe, they're with a sitter, but we need to make sure we get this going. We need to go home. We can't go to the hospital right now if we're fine. If you think we're okay to at least go home, let us go home, so that we can make sure the kids are okay. Which they did, and basically I think I had the time to call Kyle at this point. I called him repeatedly. He thought I was calling to do what, Kyle?
It was like 1:30, almost 1:40. And my phone started buzzing. I think you needed to call twice because I had like my sleep mode on. So the second call came through, and I'm holding it up to my face like, what time is it? I'm looking at the time. I'm looking at Gilbert's name, and I'm like, oh, Gilbert must be really excited about how the Erykah Badu concert went, because you were texting me beforehand about how excited you were. I'm like, he's probably just gonna wax poetic. So I'm like trying to quietly get out of bed, not wake up Lauren, and make my way out of the room so I can. And I was gonna answer. I did answer, thinking, even despite thinking it was like a silly call. And then you were just like, "Kyle, it was an accident." And I was just like, "Okay, what do you need? Let me put pants on. I'm on my way."
Yeah, there wasn't even a question. He kicked into high gear. I forgot to mention that during the Markive, I texted the Markive because I started recording when I wanted to get a document, like a physical, like a words,
right,
in addition to the video. So I kind of did some documentation there. But then, we'll end this story here because we can talk. Maybe Kyle will vlog about it or something. But basically, the car got scraped up off the freeway, and they shoved it onto a flatbed, and the tow truck driver was able to drive us to the tow station. The other driver, I'm told that the CHP would not allow him to go to the tow station, so they dropped him off at a gas station.
So weird.
But his car did come to the same station, which ended up being important later when I filed my claim, because I was able to capture his... I asked the CHP repeatedly, "Please, can I get his information? Can I have his license information? Can I have his insurance information?" I couldn't run to the other side of the freeway. I didn't even know what kind of car he was driving. Could barely see it because it still had the headlights on, even though it was his whole front end was smushed. So, but it was still a blur. Let me let that pass. And they wouldn't even give me his name. He says, "It's all in the police report. You don't have to worry about it." And then he follows with, "You'll be able to get the police report in 8 to 10 days. I was like, he's like, "Please just let me get his information." Anyway, when we got to the tow yard, the car, his car was towed there too, thankfully, because I was able to photograph his VIN. I did a video of his license plate and all that stuff, and the look of his car, and all that ended up being crucial for them being able to track him down sooner. So my insurance was able to get his information and all that. Well, that helped a lot, because then, it saves us 2 weeks of waiting for police reports, which could also have errors in them and such. But the police themselves were really cool. But anyway, they brought us back. It was I just remember being really hard to get in and out of the giant tow truck. And I waited at the yard while they forklifted my car off of the flatbed and set it down. And then Kyle showed up, and then the rest is history. We got home, and I didn't sleep basically until last night. So it was about 37 hours.
I tried to let me take you to the hospital, and you were like, "Who's gonna watch Pollux?" And I was like, "Lauren said she could watch Pollux, but we sent her away."
Yeah. No, I wanted Lauren. Oh, that was the other thing. When Kyle came to pick me up, Lauren had shot over to my house to make sure that the kids were going to be okay in case I needed to, like he said, be in the hospital or anything. Which they were fucking amazing. They're amazing. You guys are amazing human beings. I appreciate it.
Hey, we're just trying to take care of everybody, making sure everybody's okay.
Quite a night. But yeah, we did end up going to the ER. I had stayed up for about, I realized, for about 37 hours straight, taking care of the kids stuff and all that. And also the adrenaline hadn't worn off until I hit my wall just as we were coming home from the ER yesterday. I was like, I'm done. And so I basically was able to get in bed and put my head down at 8 p.m. and woke up at 9 a.m. basically.
Best sleep of your life.
And here we are. Yeah, I guess.
When we were walking away from the wreckage of the tow yard, I was like, best car you ever had.
Best car I ever had. And this is going to be, I hate this because it's like fanboy shit, but the CHP guy and the fire department and the paramedics and all these folks had said, we've seen a lot of these. A lot of people don't walk away from them. You're lucky you had a car that was this safe. And I guess I believe it, but I asked Elise because Tesla's, if we order another Model Y, it's not going to be able to deliver till April. And I asked Elise, do you want to consider another car? And she shot me down super hard. Absolutely not. No, we're getting another Tesla. And as many problems as they have and whatever the company, it's potentially that car saved our lives. So I'm not going to balk at that. They are pretty safe, I guess, for all their other faults.
What a wild ride.
And I'm sorry to give a long story, and then while Mark and Javi need to go, I want to talk more. I want them to take over.
So selfish. Geez,
we're good. Yeah, that was. Thanks for telling us that. I can't.
Wild
believe.
stuff.
Crazy.
Welcome to editor.
Welcome.
Oh my God.
To editor.
I'm just glad you guys are okay.
I was super duper looking forward to this episode because I love having the Markive on. It's one of my favorite things in the world. And then also Javi has repeatedly said he would subscribe to it if he had to. So it should be the Markive as a service.
Wait, has nobody sent him an invoice?
We should. And Javi just bought a big house and all that, and it's a big deal. So I know he's not looking forward to additional subscriptions at this point. But congratulations on that, Javier, so far.
Thank you. Yeah, I even downgraded all my iCloud or Apple One subscriptions and a bunch of other stuff like that.
Sold that.
Gotta do it, man.
67-inch curved monitor that you use to fly airplanes.
No, then where would he bought the place to have a place to put it? It would be a very gift of the Magi to sell the screen to have a house to fit the screen.
Exactly.
You should be thankful I bought a house without a hanger and a runner.
Nice. You could have done that here, but not for Oakland money.
I wouldn't. As much as Gilbert and I don't recommend living in the Central Valley, there's literally a neighborhood called Sky Park with houses with a shared runway.
Oh, that wasn't a bit. They're actually. Oh, wow. Okay.
There really is
a bit.
Those things do exist. Yeah. So
there's one in Florida. There's a popular one in South Carolina. Yeah.
Here it's called Sierra Sky Park, and I've had to film out there a couple times. It's nuts that there's like just planes driving next to cars.
Yeah,
all
and
casually.
taxiways right by the road. Yeah, and to your house basically, and you can taxi. My in-laws had looked at property there as well. Yeah, because they have that small airplane, the 172.
Some people have too much money.
Javi has flown that airplane, right?
Yeah, I've been on that 172. Yeah, I flew it.
You haven't been on it since it's been beefed up quite a bit. Another 20 horsepower and all bored out and all that.
Nice. Nope, I'm looking forward to doing that again.
Yeah, I know they'll enjoy that. So,
All right, let's jump into some stuff that I know Mark is excited to. Or I'm excited to hear Mark talk about. But there's been an Apple event. The text chat group chat is always bumping on an Apple announcement day. Mark,
Sure
are you
is.
buying a new computer?
Polishing cloths.
Is Mark
I just
laughing
muted
to
myself.
himself?
I thought I was unmuted.
Okay.
Probably not yet, but I'm very tempted. Of course, I'm always
Just
tempted.
wait.
Always
wait.
tempted. The temptation.
I'm always tempted.
And what would you be tempted by? I'm curious.
A MacBook Pro? Wait, is that a trick question?
Yeah, I mean, are you buying something? There's AirPods. There's the MacBook.
Oh, sure.
I know you're
I mean,
really,
AirPods.
You're really excited about that voice plan.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna pull a Javi and downgrade to the voice plan.
Everybody
Apple
downgrade to
Music,
the voice plan.
Siri only. Torture mode.
Mm-hmm.
Torture
I will
mode.
also have to buy a HomePod Mini to make that happen, but it'll be worth it.
Right. It does work. It does work with iPhones and iPads though. You just still have to use Siri, and you get a little on the Apple Music app. It says you can basically start like Pandora basically and just play random songs. And then it has like playlists.
So wait, you can't even use the music app?
You can't use the music app fully. No, it truncates
so
it significantly.
I mean, I
You'd
understand.
have to ask Siri to play an album. If there's a specific album you wanted to listen to, you'd have to trigger it through Siri.
Right.
And that's when I first I was in a meeting and then I had the video up with the subtitles on. I was just like, oh, Apple Music is announcing a competitor to Pandora. But then when I went back and read some more about it, I was like, oh, it's Apple Music but shitty.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm on record. I like Apple Music a lot, but the idea of having to only interface with it through Siri, that sounds awful. That is not worth a whatever $5 to $10 a month savings.
Apple should pay you to use Apple Music with only Siri as like an endurance test.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like Linus's, thing about not wanting to call Comcast to get a discount every couple of years or whatever. It's like, playing that game. But the idea to get a discount by only being able to use Siri for Apple Music, no, I will not take that trade.
Did you guys see the album that Coldplay released?
No.
I saw that they released an album, but I don't know anything about it.
A few of the songs are just Unicode characters.
Yeah.
One of them is the infinity symbol. So it's
Amazing.
just perfect for your new Apple Music voice plan.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's so great. Oh my.
Siri,
Yeah.
play Infinity by Coldplay. Infinity symbol. Unicode symbol 43271.
Yeah,
That's
how would
amazing.
that even work? Like, could you create a playlist? But I guess the playlist couldn't have anything on Apple Music.
Or how could you build a playlist if you're not supposed to use the Apple Music app? Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
there's
should just
no
say
curation.
it's only for HomePods. Like at that point, it's.
I think
just
that's the
rude.
intent. That's got to be the intent. But
Right.
I guess if you have existing playlists, it'll play them. Like play my playlist, whatever.
Mhm.
And I don't know about playlist building or maybe.
Well,
it
yeah. Could
generates a
you
playlist.
on your phone make a playlist that contained music from the Apple Music library, but then trigger it from Siri, or only the songs that aren't on Apple Music but you purchase separately could be
Don't know.
played? I don't know.
What's
that
the
just
Venn
seems-
diagram of people that buy HomePods
Yes.
and want to save $5 a month?
Exactly. Scott is already creating the Venn diagram as we speak.
Scott's like, hold my
God.
beer.
I want to come back to Javier mentioned the polishing cloth.
Oh God.
It's $20. It's the same polishing cloth that comes
It's
with
back ordered.
the Pro Display XDR, and it's back ordered to next year. You can't even buy it as like a Christmas gift. I think that would be a great stocking
the chip
stuffer.
shortage just
Right. Well, you just
brutal.
have to buy an XDR, and that's fine.
Yeah, those are in stock.
Right. Well, oh my God. I kept seeing people talking about it on Twitter and stuff. I'm like, why is this having a cultural moment? Like, is this the same thing that came with the XDR, or I don't know.
It's the new Apple iPod socks.
Oh yes, exactly. Get enough, you could like wrap your phone in it or something. Oh my God.
Also, the big thing about that cloth is it's designed for if you have the nano texture, like mainly.
Right.
That's the main point of it. I mean, again, it's a cloth, but I know Marco had texted about it or tweeted about it early on, Marco Arment, and it took off from there. So I think that he might have actually started all of it because when I was going through the purchasing flow, I did not purchase anything. Shut up. That was one of the first things it offered during the purchasing flow.
Mm-hmm.
So. Maybe if they're the XDR, you must wipe them with this cloth.
I hear some people use it in the toilet too.
Just a wipe.
Yeah.
And that's my cue. It was fun chatting with you guys.
Literally.
No, not literally. Does the iMac, like the older 27-inch that you can get the nano texture, does that also come with the $20 polishing cloth?
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. So if you want, you only want to spend, $3,000 or whatever. That's a
you
bargain.
spend just $1,000. Yeah.
Is anyone here disappointed that the new MacBooks didn't have a nano texture option?
I am
Mildly. Although like the nano texture isn't just like a matte screen, like you're not supposed to touch it ever. And I and other people
feel like-
accidentally touch my MacBook screen all the time.
Yeah, wouldn't it get, well, don't get me started on the fact that they're not touchscreens. But wouldn't it get all scratched up just because you're closing the lid? Like, it just seems like it's such a delicate texturing process.
if there's any debris or anything like that, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, like that
That's a
person
great
who
point.
was like a grain of brown rice from Chipotle and it, shattered the
Yes.
screen when it closed.
Chipotle rice just shattered the screen. It's amazing.
Yeah. I didn't even think about the idea that they might have that nano texture on the MacBooks. I mean,
Some sort of matte option should.
sure.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, what was that, like 10 plus years ago that they
Yeah.
laptop met out? I think
The 15.
like 15 years ago.
The
We had
17-inch had the anti-glare as well.
we had a 15-inch. I think we went with the matte option. But yeah, these days.
And the 17-inch at the time also had the high resolution option, which is now by today's standards, quite low resolution.
Good point. So wait, Gilbert, did you get the 14 or the 16? Which did you end
I
up?
got neither.
So both.
I know nobody believes me. How come?
Nice.
Two
both.
of each.
You got both.
I might be able to get a 14-inch at work, I think.
Oh, nice.
Perfect.
So
you should
Javi-
get one, Kyle.
Javi
I'd be
get
surprised
two.
if you didn't.
And Kyle get one.
I really want to hold one and see if the 14-inch is enough because I have a 15-inch, and I think I'd be
gotcha.
willing to sacrifice 1 inch of space for a lighter package.
But then again, so there's a couple things about that. Like even I would consider the 14 at this point because of the way I would plan on using the computer, which is the main reason why I'm not buying one of these is because I just have ever since the Mac Pro release, we've been talking about this. Like I still have way too many IO concerns. I could get a Sonnet, Thunderbolt 4 drive, and then it actually adds 3 Thunderbolt ports, but that would actually solve a lot of the problems. But I run a lot of stuff that is dedicated Thunderbolt 3, and I use all 4 ports routinely, and I don't even have room for my power adapter. So if they don't provide enough power, then my computers will slowly drain. So, and that's the thing about the 14 and the 16. Both of them they can be configured exactly the same way. But I am pretty sure that even if you spend the $20 to upgrade the power brick, if you get a baser model or whatever, like it's only the base model that comes with the 67 watt or whatever, and you could upgrade it to like a 100 watt or 94 watt or whatever for $20.
140.
Well, the 16 has 140. There's 3 power bricks, Kyle. There's the 67 that comes with the base model MacBook Pro, new MacBook Pro. There's you can upgrade in the purchasing flow. You can actually add for $20. You can get the near 100 watt one,
96,
and then all the 16s, and then like 96ish, and all the 16s come with the big one, the 140.
I thought it was just the max.
They don't give you the option. They don't give you the option to buy a 140 watt one with the 14-inch ones. So you'd have to buy it
nobody's saying you
separately.
can't just add an accessory one. You could get the 67 watt,
Correct.
and then add a 140 watt.
Correct.
to
You
your
can add
cart.
it. They're $100, which is actually fairish. I want to say for 140. It's a very big power brick, but it's fine. And actually, it's so big that I actually do have concerns about it staying in some outlets, depending on where they put the prongs, and if it can kind of wedge itself. So you may want to get the extension cable just to take the load off. And that's another $20. And then, but my point is like, if you configure the 14-inch the same way, and you get the bigger power brick, the 90 something watt one, the 96 watt, I think. I am worried that if you're running the computer full bore, it still won't be able to charge itself quickly enough. And that computer can do fast charging whether you use the USB-C ports or whether you use the 90 something watt power brick. It can't do fast charging with the 67 watt, whereas the 16-inch requires the MagSafe to do fast charging. And I do worry about the computer actually dying during heavy use. Slowly, it'll be offset, of course.
If you're using USB-C through like one of your docks.
No, even
Or
if you're using
even with
the
the
96
MagSafe?
watt, the 14-inch. Yeah, because think about it. If it's configured the exact same way as a 16-inch and it requires 140 watts, theoretically, peak. Actually, I was looking at their charts and the peak demands were over 350 watts. If you look at the way that some of their stupid charts were designed, that didn't actually convey much information of anything, let alone what they wanted to.
They're the most
marketing
beautiful
message.
charts.
More
Yeah, they have-
performance.
The little swoopy charts, but yeah, some of the thermal, power consumption loads were upper in the 300 to 400 watts, and I think that's signaling for Mac, potential Mac Pros, when they talk about stuff like that. But the point being, if the 16 needs it and has the exact same equipment, there's strong potential that the 14 will drain more quickly. Also, nobody knows this yet, but it looks like, in other words, it's not confirmed. It looks like the 16 also has an additional heat pipe, and it for sure has dual fans. The 14 might have like significantly lesser cooling, which means that it also, the way it might be able to sustain itself, with only a smaller power brick, is that it does throttling. And
It's gonna
if it
throttle
does
back to
that,
just keep the heat under
I
control.
definitely do not want it if it does that. So for me, the 16, if it has more thermal headroom and it can sustain longer loads, longer times, that's the better buy. But for most people, for most people, the MacBook Air is an amazing computer. Just get that.
Yeah.
But for most professional uses, like in the video and editing, world where the demands are quite high, the 16 is probably a better choice. But for like if you're a vlogger, YouTube, that kind of stuff, more than likely the 14 is already just superb. Even a base model M1 Max, it'd be great. Even the M1 Pro would be great. So and also one thing I pointed out during our long live Markive thread during the show is that basically they added for the M1 Pro and M1 Max, they added ProRes decoding, hardware acceleration. So they basically added an afterburner card from the Mac Pro, and early reports are saying that effectively it does perform just like a Mac Pro with an afterburner card. So that also lends more credence to, even if the Mac afterburner is an FPGA, I am positive that they have some kind of M hardware architecture in there, or at least some subset of it. Like for example, an M processor without the neural engine, for example. So they don't need the machine learning, but they
the
need the
afterburner
hardware
card
acceleration.
is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
what I think it is.
technically in Apple's presentation, the number of 8K ProRes streams for this new MacBook announcement, someone did a comparison between this announcement and the Mac Pro announcement. It's even higher. It could be even more powerful than the afterburner card, but it may just be kind of, like you said, these other parts of the chip helping lift some weight just because it's a more complete system than the afterburner was.
And also it's worth noting that the processors, the M1 Max is effectively the same as like a NVIDIA, the 3070 series, just below the performance of a 3080. But the difference being the price, the price for that performance per watt is astonishing comparatively. As Javier, I know he's as a person who owns a 3080, he knows what power needs and what he had to upgrade his power supply, right, Javi?
Yeah, I had to get a 1,000 watt power supply, but also I can get that sustained performance. I have a really big tower with a bunch of fans that's very loud.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is a laptop. So I think it would be more fair to compare to the 3080 mobile version that we get in some Windows laptops, and what's the performance after gaming for 30 minutes on that.
Yeah,
Javi,
and that's
do
exactly
the-
what Apple was comparing against the MSI and then the Razer blade, the 15-inch, and those can only last a couple hours, full bore anyway.
Apple's beautiful graphs finally showed what they're comparing. But Javi, does the your big PC tower with all the fans that sounds like a jet engine, does it help for the realism of your flight simulator games?
Yes.
No, I mean, Javi's rig is amazing. If he wants to send us photos to put in the show notes or whatever,
Sure, yeah.
or tweet about them or whatever, then definitely, and then we can link to those because your rig is awesome. You run a simulation rig for both flying, for flight, and for racing, for F1 racing predominantly, right?
Yeah, these days mostly been doing sim racing.
Oh, Javi, you
You're
hit
muted,
mute.
Javi.
hit
You
mute
cut
right
out.
in the middle of the.
Was it
yourself.
redacted or?
Oh, I was adding a
Redacted.
to do in things, and the key command for setting the project for the to do that I was creating was muting Skype, even though Skype is not the active application.
It's just always
funny.
looking out for that.
Mid answer, he's creating to do tasks.
Literally,
Javi's a
that's
beast.
Javi in a
So
nutshell.
mostly you do it for what these days?
For sim racing.
Nice. Okay.
Javi, I want to know your take. What will these new MacBooks mean? You also said you were going to try to get your work to get you access to one. What does this mean for people doing code, compiling, building? What?
Yeah. It's funny. I haven't heard this about these, but when the first M1 Max came out, there were some jokes about how Apple, these were Swift compiling machines or something like that. And the reality is that for people doing what I do, it's specifically iOS development or Mac OS, tvOS. Nobody makes apps for those anymore. So really iOS. Since the transition to Swift, we gained a lot of things with the language, but compile times and performance as far as what you need from your machine, also while you're writing code, as far as what the IDE needs to do, has really suffered with these Intel machines. I have a 2020 16-inch MacBook Pro, with 64 gigs of RAM. This machine must be like $4,000. This is my work computer.
More than that, yeah. Your computer's
Yeah.
more than that, yeah.
And it chokes constantly. And, building the app that I work on takes over 20 minutes. The people that have been already trying out, these initial M1 computers, right? They're not made for professionals, really, right? They just made a really nice computer for MacBook Air, MacBook Mini for more casual use. And those machines give us like 40% faster compile times than this beast of a MacBook Pro. So and this is not even the MacBook Pro that they just announced. I can't wait to see some benchmarks on Monday.
We can't wait to see how you'll use it.
Yeah. I thought the thing that I'm still trying to figure out is how the different models compare, how the Max and the Pro compare as far as CPU performance. It really seems that the scale and the way that they scale up, if you want to pay more, seems like
GPU.
you're mostly getting more GPU cores, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like there's any more single core performance or even more CPU cores.
Because the M1 Pro is literally, if you compare it, it's called the JC chop, right? That's what it's referred to as. So they literally just chop off the GPU portion, and in theory, they can take those chopped GPU portions and stick them in a Apple-owned graphics card, and then all of a sudden, now we have a solution for the Mac Pro beyond internally 128 cores, like theoretical max. Like if they keep gluing M1's maxes together, or if you run dual or quad M1's maxes, if they need to do it that way, in case the die itself is too big. But the point being is they literally just chop that part off, and then the M1 Pro is subject to more binning. So meaning they're more likely to use an M1 Pro and increase their manufacturing yields by selling an 8-core version or whatever.
Yeah, the base model 14-inch has 8 CPU cores and 14 GPU cores, and those are just binned. It's the same manufactured chip, but they're just through software turning them off.
you turning them off because they probably didn't meet qualitative yields.
Yeah.
And that's one of the benefits of binning, and they can
saving those pieces that could have otherwise been thrown away.
Recycling.
Right. Which is good. I mean, it allows people who do stuff that predominantly only requires one core to get a MacBook Pro, and still have that same single core performance, and yet still really benefit from when they need a little bit more oomph now and then, like if rendering a family photo, movie, whatever,
and
that kind of thing.
I agree with you, Gilbert. I think the base model 14-inch MacBook Pro for a lot of people is going to be
amazing,
incredible,
and still an amazing computer. I'm even tempted to, like, at work just be like, can I just get the base model? I just want to see how well it does, because I don't really edit as much from my MacBook. I actually am right now. There's a project I'm working on right now that I am editing, but I'm doing more delegating these days. So I think I'm very curious for the performance, like, differences between the base and the next model up, the full M1 Pro. That being said, I believe Max Yuriev, Max Tech, he's already said he's purchased one of, like, each model and is going to stress test each of them with his, like, 8K video stuff.
And he does a really good job of comparing that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of filler, but yeah.
Watch it.
And I'm not in a rush. And also, it's like, one of the things is, like I said, I have the IO issues, and then I will admit, Kyle said, in his vlog, he, like, called me out because, like, I plug way too much shit in my computers to begin with. It's like my menu bars and the notch. I could almost see you smiling a little bit when you were talking about how the menu. I figured you were thinking about me right then.
Your menu bar scares me. Like, there's
most of that's iStat, because if I have the room, I use it.
Get Bartender and just compact some of that you're not using all the time.
Bartender.
I don't want to compact it. I want it to look at. I want to be able to look at it if it's at a glance. But I can compact it by just putting less iStat menu stuff. So the notch, I definitely want to ask Mark about the notch, and then the rumored white notches on the MacBook Air refresh.
Yeah. Am I the only one that uses an external display and doesn't really care about the laptop screen? I mean, I use it sometimes when I'm, I
run dual external displays, which is part of my trickiness of plugging in. So that's my normal setup. But I don't, it doesn't bother me in practice, even when it's a bezel simulator.
98% just my MacBook screen, and only occasionally external monitor at work or at home. But yeah, most of the time I'm just on the screen. And I think the screen, like, with a mini LED screen, this is, like, going to be my third HDR display. I've got my TV downstairs. I've got my Atomos Ninja, but this is, I'm excited for this.
And your iPhone.
Oh yeah, my iPhone. That's true. I guess I could plug it in, like, duet display or sidecar, and view some HDR content that I'm working on my computer. But I'm excited to have a native HDR screen on my Mac to, maybe more of my vlogs will be HDR, since I can actually easily edit HDR and view it.
Right. Poor Scott. He's like, what the fuck? What did I sign up for? Scott,
what is the new MacBook Pros mean for you and podcasting or your work, which redacted?
Little to nothing, but I mean, I'm good with my setup at the moment, though. As I noted before, I did joke with Mark that I should start recording again on laptop, because I had a unexpected power outage earlier this week and lost some audio that way. Should be able to recover it from everybody's backups, but
my goodness,
this is of course also just as easily solved by having a power source that has some backup, which I should have had before, but I will have now. So,
but you've also run out of power doing a podcast with just an M1, a MacBook with just not M1, but just a MacBook.
Yeah,
because I was going to call it the MacBook One, but I feel like that's
we can't do that one anymore.
Yeah, so the original MacBook, the genesis
single
of
USB-C.
the famed butterfly keyboard.
I got I got the dongle to solve that one after that.
That was
that
great.
episode.
Dongle life, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on MacBook Pro? any closing thoughts, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I would. Sorry, I'm going to cut in because I would consider getting the 14 if I didn't dock it. Like if I just use it as a portable. But my iPad, handles the vast majority of that. So that's my closing thought. That's all.
Wait, what? I didn't check that. So before, when I think it was before I stepped out for a while, because you were boring me. The
callback, I love it.
So you said, Gilbert, that the 16-inch would be better for pros in some way, but there's no difference other than the screen, right? Not to minimize the screen issue,
the thermals, like even if you build them exactly the same way, the thermal headroom and the battery, and then potentially the ability to charge sustained thermal loads during sustained thermal loads, those are all factors if you're not using the 140 watt. Now, so basically, if you're a person who's buying the 14 for portability, and even though you can fast charge with the mid-grade almost 100 watt power brick or on USB-C, which is awesome, you should still strongly consider getting the 140 watt, even as a backup, and maybe make the smaller power brick your portable one.
Yeah, put the 140 watt power brick as your desk dock.
And then there's the potential that the 16 will run quieter or be able to sustain thermal loads longer if it has additional, like some of the rumors say, some additional cooling capacity.
Yeah, I look forward to
besides being a larger heat
tear
sink,
down.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's of course a significantly bigger battery, 70 watt hours versus 100 watt hours. So.
Sure. Yeah, the battery, the thermals. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Nice.
All right, final thoughts on AirPods third gen. Anybody getting AirPods?
Eventually.
Crickets.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited that they, came out as rumored, sort of inspired by AirPods Pro, but not with the separate tip. I guess it was like maybe almost a year ago, had experimented with both the AirPods Pro and Powerbeats Pro and probably something else I've blocked out by now, but just did not like that style with the tips.
I'm not a big rubber tip headphone person either.
Yeah. And I just, I really like the original AirPods, and I have the second gen, which, essentially identical, and whatever it's been now for 5-6 years or something, 5-ish years. Sure. Honestly, they're one of my favorite Apple products of all time. I mean, obviously, it goes well with the rest of the ecosystem. I'm not saying I'd want to use them with, some Android phone or go to Windows from a personal life. But, in terms of like how much they've changed my experience with listening to things. And obviously, Scott and I listen to a lot of, audiobooks and things like that. Obviously love podcasts, and it's just even being able to, for example, listen with one AirPod in, just times I don't want to be as, isolated from the family or, doing dishes or cooking or something, or even like, in bed, being able to lay down with my head to one side and have the one AirPod in either when I'm falling asleep or just whatever. It's just, for all sorts of reasons, I just really, really love AirPods. So I'm excited that the third gen has this design. I'm not going to rush out and buy them immediately. I don't actually know if the new shape will work well for me. I'm very glad that they're still selling the second gen at a discount. So I feel like hopefully they understand that some people will still prefer that shape and everything, and so I'm glad those will be around, and I can keep the non AirPods Pro style for probably the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean, especially since I really do feel like the connection is probably superior with the further you go back with Apple headphones, the better I think it is. I really do think that.
Yeah, my first gen AirPods are solid. I swapped them with Pod Swap, so the batteries are good. I'm noticing I'm charging the case more frequently, so the battery in the case may be going out. I think if the case fully dies, that would be the impetus for me.
Does Pod Swap do cases?
No,
too?
No, just the pods themselves.
Scott, what do you run headphone wise?
AirPods Pro.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, similar thoughts to Mark, though, in some respects from the other perspective. It's interesting that they went to that form factor, but I like the pros, and I similarly do the usually I only have one in and swap them out, which actually has the other advantage too of, it feels like they never really die, because yes, you have to, occasionally swap ears, but otherwise, it goes certainly as long as I need to. And as Mark alluded to, I do a fair amount of listening, rumor has it, with audiobooks and podcasts and that. So
I was gonna say, yeah, what listening to your AirPods Pros, I don't know where the S goes.
He's literally listening to AirPods Pros. That's amazing. That's PROSE.
Pros.
You guys said I could make a dad joke.
The M1 Max. Yeah.
What would be your pie chart of listening content? Podcasts, audiobooks, music, video content.
So, I mean, it's mostly audiobooks, but it kind of swaps back and forth between audiobooks and podcasts. When depending on the mood I'm in or what I'm listening to, we'll switch over to YouTube sometimes, depending on if an editor episode is better consumed, in video or audio format.
Not this one.
Not this one. This is one where I would swap over. I'd look at the video and go, okay, I'm good. I don't need to see them in their fake little bar,
weirdo
and then I'll switch back over.
exercise in the
Just jump to the
background.
part where I drop in Gilbert's dash cam footage.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Yeah. I think he has that on Twitter already.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah,
one
I
of the
did.
videos.
Oh my
so,
gosh.
Yeah.
I tweeted the
Built nothing
front and
back.
rear cam.
I gotta retweet that.
I really look forward to seeing the other person, the person who would dash cam footage, the person who saw the accident. That's gonna be insane, I'm sure. So yeah, but back to the Apple event, or I guess to wrap up the Apple event, I get the feeling we all think like, this is all amazing stuff. This is the best stuff Apple has done. We're not buying any of it. That's the feeling I get.
Isn't that
right?
how it always goes? Or I might buy it and return it. So I have like 10 minutes left, so I think just enough time for my 10-minute rant about Mac Mini. No, just kidding. Wait, no, that wasn't an invitation to talk more about the MacBook Pro, was it? I think the biggest reason why I'm not more excited to buy something now is because we're still another year left, or at the very least, 6 months to a year left in the ARM, M whatever transition. Didn't get Mac Minis, didn't get the big iMac, certainly didn't get, going back to Javi's question, have not gotten an Apple branded external display that's in a more reasonable price point than the XDR, whatever that is now, $5,000+ without the stand. So I think, it's definitely very tempting to get one of these MacBook Pros, and I think it's, for the most part, I'm happy with what they ended up with. Personally, I would have preferred just a fourth Thunderbolt 4 port instead of the MagSafe or whatever. But, for me, it's that I don't really need a Pro computer. It's that there are a few quirk things, like Gilbert talks about the I/O. I'd love more ports than the M1 MacBook Air I have with the two Thunderbolt ports or whatever. And I at least always dream about getting a huge internal SSD, even though it's way overpriced and not really what I need, but it's tempting, So I think, if an M1, I almost said M1X, but, if and when an M1 Pro or M1 Mac Mini, I think that's the right terminology, comes around.
Apple Mac Mini Pro.
Yeah, the chip names are a little weird, and I know we were chatting about what the cadence is going to be for how long of a gap there is in the future between the sort of M2 and then M2 Pro and M2 Max and whatever they call the M1 Max with however many X's turn on to signify the Mac Pro level of gluing even more together. So that's the tough thing with Apple. It's always that hashtag just wait that Gilbert loves to say, where it's like, because we're in the midst of a transition, there's always some transition we're in the midst of, but right now if I had somehow managed to resist getting an M1 laptop that I would definitely be much more tempted. Obviously, Linus, hopefully we'll get something eventually. He'll wait, I'm sure, for the MacBook Air, and hopefully the bezels won't annoy him too much. But it is, given the COVID delays and given other reasons why things have probably been trickling out more slowly than Apple would have liked, and certainly some of us out here wanting to buy things would have liked. It'll be interesting to see what comes out in 2022, and hopefully we'll pick something up then. But we'll see. I'll let you know if I end up sneaking off and buying a MacBook Pro just to try it.
Yeah, you reminded me. My final thoughts are: you reminded me of something that I said in my vlog. It was like, with a redesigned body chassis like these MacBook Pros, I typically like to wait for the second refresh.
Sure.
But who knows when that's coming, because that was always dependent on like cheaper SSDs or RAM or the next Intel chip. At this point, Apple's controlling this top down, and we're almost a year into these MacBook Airs and the 13-inch MacBook Pros. It doesn't seem like a 6-month, 9-month refresh is coming. So, who knows? I almost forgot. I forgot to say this in my vlog, and I was going to say it here, and I almost forgot again. Everybody's excited. Well, not everybody. I guess Mark just said that he isn't. That like the MagSafe is back, HDMI is back, SD card readers are back. The thing that I'm most excited about that is back is that the headphone jack is on the left side.
Oh, you and Marco can have a field day about that one.
Marco, let me come complain on your show too.
Yeah. Well, and it's a shame. I mean, always, you can nitpick about, why couldn't they combine this set of features and something that is a more consumer laptop? There's been rumors of let's do a 16-inch or 15, 16-inch MacBook Air or whatever, or the fact that they only have the two Thunderbolt ports on the lower end laptops. So, hopefully some of those constraints might go away over time, or maybe they'll just, dig in their heels for, different price points, and maybe there's some difference between the M2 and the M2 Pro Max, whatever. But we'll see. It is, it feels pretty universal that that Apple's taken a step in the right direction, right? They've at least, between finally doing away with the butterfly keyboard and at least almost completely done away with the touch bar and some of those things. And like I said, the ports, they at least have started to turn things around. There's still things to complain about. There always will be things to complain about. I'm sure the notch will be controversial.
The transitions never end and the complaining never ends.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that I'd like to say about, living in a place with 4 seasons means you always have something to complain about. So being an Apple fan is also always have something to complain about.
But funny. It is a totally different design philosophy. The fact that they're thicker. When was the last time that Apple was like, we're going to favor performance over looks in a Pro device?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the most substantial thing.
They broke it in with the iPhone 13 Pro, just a tiny bit heavier, just a tiny bit thicker. That is funny though, because Gilbert was just like, I miss living in a place that has seasons, and I'm like,
overrated.
Yeah, give me just blistering hot and freezing cold, and I'll just deal with it when it's here.
Deal with the extremes.
Yeah. All right. That's the Apple event. I'm sure we could.
Thank you for letting us recap it here.
A whole nother hour. I believe. Is it possible? Is it true, Scott? Are the rumors true? Do you have a quiz?
Oh my God.
I do.
I wish I do.
I've got.
Oh, I was going to say, I literally
have to go.
I was like, now that we're done with the Apple event, I'm out. I have 5-ish minutes. Is that going to be enough?
Wait, what's the quiz though? What's the quiz? That could be
no. So I talked a little bit with Gilbert, and so it's another mashup game, and this is with 90s movies. So
nice.
A little
so
bit
that
more
was
nice. The
I'm so bad at
video
these
games last time, but
so from when
they had
Javi and
movies
Kyle
back
were in
then?
kindergarten, or
yeah, we did. Yeah, it was crazy. I know, but as I said before, sometime in the 80s, I think, is when the world went from black and white to color, right? So
nice.
Yeah. So I don't know if we want to just, since Mark may need to drop off, just we can just do it as kind of free for all if that works.
Yeah.
Watermelon.
Exactly.
Nice.
So
yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
So we kind of did mashups before, but just as an example. So if I said a coal miner's son is inspired to take up rocketry after the defection of a Russian submarine captain and his state-of-the-art submarine, that would be The Hunt for Red October Sky.
This is so hard.
Was just about to say that.
I had Hunt for Red October, but
It was funny.
I
I had October Sky.
And that's actually a bad. So I totally cribbed that example from a previous one that I did on Narrated, and then I realized just now that it's a bad example because they're in reverse order. Usually they're in the order of the rest. I think will all be in the order of the clue. So
Nice. We'll forgive you just this once.
yeah, exactly. So first one, a military lawyer defends Marines accused of murder. They contend that they were acting under orders from a secret organization that polices and monitors extraterrestrial interactions on Earth.
Something black.
Yeah.
What's that movie?
It's A Few Good Men in Black. Yeah.
A few good men in black. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Teamwork.
Did Mark get that, or did
No, I think it was Kyle. We each get half
Mark
point,
got
and
it.
then Javi and Gilbert have nothing.
We have nothing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Javi said that he was gonna get the examples, so that's maybe like a quarter of a point or something.
No,
I didn't.
you didn't get my
I have 0
sarcasm.
points for sure. /
It's funny. I think I get Javi's sarcasm more on text than I do over Skype.
Okay. Next up, a jaded weatherman finds himself trapped in a small town as he lives the same day over and over again with a young stock car driver taking his chance to compete at the top level.
Well, I have the first half.
If you didn't get the first half, I'd be very disappointed, Mark. Especially
Yeah,
for
exactly. Especially since I like.
Anchorman.
Day of the Dead? I don't know.
No.
I don't know what the second part is.
I think I know which one it is, but I can never remember the actual name.
Describe the movie though. People like if you know.
Young stock car driver. So it's a race car racing movie
Oh, it's a racing movie. Okay,
From the
so it's a Truman
90s?
Show.
from the 90s, 1990.
I didn't watch any race car movies in the 90s
I
today.
can't. Yeah, I can't.
I'm not sure if there's any
They
others.
had cars in the 90s.
Okay, now.
Yeah, horse and buggy. Yeah.
They did, but they didn't have seatbelts.
Oh my gosh, too soon.
Yeah, too soon. If I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, I would have flown out of the car.
Day of something.
Yeah.
Days.
You're-
Talladega Nights. No.
No, I don't think that was 90s. But you're on the right track.
Groundhog, dazed
Is
and
it like-
confused.
Groundhog Days of
Is it
Thunder.
like Days of Thunder or something?
Yep.
Oh,
Put it all together, Mark.
Is it? It's
Groundhog
not Groundhog
Day
Days of Thunder, is it?
Thunder or Days of Thunder.
Yep. Days of Thunder. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I do remember Days of Thunder as a movie title, but I
you
never
might-
saw that movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen
I'm not
it,
sure I ever actually saw it, but
Groundhog Day, we've seen him in
but Wikipedia says that's what it is about.
that's right. That's all you really
Nice.
need to do. The byline. That's all.
Yes. Well, my years of skimming practice have served me well.
Okay. Two slacker friends try to promote their public access cable show while helping a British spy uncover a nuclear plot and protect an oil heiress from her former kidnapper, an international terrorist who can't feel pain.
International
Wayne's World.
Wayne's
I don't know. I don't know the second half.
the Wayne's World is not enough.
That is correct. Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
There is a drop. There is a drop.
Did
of
I
in
screw it
there,
up
so-
though?
No, you got it. Wayne's World is not enough.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Well done.
This is like the Brosnan era of
podcast.
Bond. No, of Bond.
Nice.
But I do, I thought Wayne's World was an appropriate one to bring in here. No offense, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's how
I was like, wait, are we describing Kyle's job?
I have to explain. People are like, what does public access mean? Like, did you watch Wayne's World? Yeah, it's that.
excellent.
Excellent.
Years after a friend and fellow agent is killed on a joint mission, a secret space weapons program is stolen, reuniting 4 young friends bound by a tragic accident and stalked by a hook-wielding maniac.
Hook wheeling maniac.
Something I know what you did
Scream.
last summer.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. I know
Yep.
you did last time, but not Scream. Though I'm an idiot.
What was the first part again?
4 friends bound by. Go ahead. Say the first part. Yeah. That's the part I missed.
Years after a friend and fellow agent is killed on a joint mission, a secret space weapons program is stolen,
And then,
reuniting 4 young friends. Yep.
Oh, GoldenEye, Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes.
oh,
Nice,
dang it.
Mark.
I was.
I didn't
yeah.
remember the plot to GoldenEye.
Yeah, the using I in the 2 forms is very nice.
Yeah, that was.
Nice.
Yeah, I like-
That's awesome. These are great, Scott. These are
Oh
I
my
awesome.
like
gosh.
that one. Okay.
You even hinted like Brosnan era Bond, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
wait,
was like,
were these all Bond movies? No, I guess not all of them.
That is the last Bond one. I did have an incomplete one with Tomorrow Never Dies with a Vengeance, but anyways.
Sure, all right, we'll keep workshopping that one. Oh my gosh.
So 3 disgruntled programmers decide to rebel against their greedy boss by seeking the assistance of a retired basketball champion in a desperate attempt to win a basketball
Office
match.
Space Jam.
Yeah,
Yes.
well done, well done.
Nice, Scott. I love the. I didn't even let you finish. I'm sorry.
I know. I was gonna say.
No, you had it. You
Oh my
had
gosh.
it. That was a fun one too.
All right, how many left?
I've got 4 left.
4 left. All right, let's plow through them.
Sweet.
And
And then
then I'm
Mark's
gonna
gotta
hop off. Yep.
Okay. After the farmer is injured and unable to work the farm, our porcine hero has to go to the big city to save the farm, while an unhappy Manhattan yuppie is roped into joining his 2 friends on a cattle drive.
what was the last bit?
Super
I had-
City. No. Superman,
yeah.
Super City Slickers or something.
What was that?
Did you
again?
get it?
Super City Slickers.
What was the
It's-
first part?
I can't remember. Is Superman the first part? I don't know because like
No.
that doesn't make sense
No,
in the 90s
I think
movies.
Porcine hero.
I think is it Babe Pig in the City Slickers?
You
Babe,
are correct.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking like Superman was the plot. Like, that John is injured.
Oh
and
yeah,
Superman
I could see that
comes and
going to the big
I
city.
mean,
I also-
yeah,
but that
Babe,
wasn't a 90s
Babe Pig
movie.
in the City and Superman, very easily confused movies.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
I wasn't
amazing.
thinking Babe. I was thinking that Amish bowling movie, Kingpin.
Oh my god,
yeah.
I don't know why that popped
yeah.
into my head.
nice.
So we got City Slickers, and so Mark got that one. Nicely done, dude.
So after a bitter divorce, an actor disguises himself as a housekeeper to spend time with his children, and an Arizona logger mysteriously disappears for 5 days in an alleged encounter with a flying saucer.
Mrs. Doubtfire,
Doubtfire.
Balding. I don't know what the second one was.
Second one is a little bit more
Okay,
obscure.
read the counterfeit the flying saucer one again.
An Arizona logger mysteriously disappears for 5 days.
They have trees in Arizona.
Sure. Not anymore. They logged them all.
I don't know that movie. I don't recognize that. Mark. Are you screaming
Fire in
your
the
calls?
Deep, Fire in the Sky. No, Fire in the Deep is
Fire-
for Revenge. Fire in the Sky.
Yep.
Mrs. Doubtfire in the
Sky.
sky. Then
That's
right.
I'm
That-
giving,
I think
I'm
we all
giving
got
half
that,
a
Mark.
point to Gilbert and half a point to Mark.
Exactly.
you need
And
half a point too, Kyle. You
All right, wait, how many are left? 2?
And I didn't think about it, but there's 2 more left. But yeah, I didn't think of it. There was the other one was the last Bond, but I guess it wasn't the last with Brosnan. But
There you go. All right, speed round. I gotta go.
a feline prince and his father are targeted by his bitter uncle, who wants to ascend the throne himself, leading to a regular guy from America becoming king of England after a royal tragedy makes
Oh
him
my
next
gosh.
in line.
Yeah, I got it.
Movies that should never be thought of again. But anyways,
I think I got it.
I don't know.
I
Lion
don't
King
go for it,
Ralph.
Mark. I don't got it.
go ahead, Mark.
Lion King Ralph.
Yep. Yes,
The Lion
King Ralph
King is,
never should be watched.
I don't know why I didn't
again,
even get Lion King.
I've never heard of that. and
Yes,
probably
well,
for good
same.
reason.
It's for the best.
We're just older
in
enough
King
that we've
Ralph,
heard of
is
that,
there
and we're so
a
sorry.
joke about spotted dick in that movie?
Yes.
The dessert? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I actually seen that movie. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
he has the Blu-ray. Actually, he commissioned the Blu-ray.
How many copies?
Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Last one, then I'm going to jump.
A highly successful 40-something San Francisco stockbroker is persuaded by her friend to take a well-deserved first-class vacation in 1885 Hill Valley.
Something to the future.
Something that ends with back.
Yeah, what was the first half again?
A highly successful 40-something San Francisco stockbroker is persuaded by her friend to take a well-deserved first-class vacation in 1885 Hill Valley.
I don't know what the... Oh, you said San Francisco, right? Okay, never mind.
That's not the Moneyball movie.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know where Sex in the City takes place, or what those people
York?
did for a job or anything. Okay, sorry, because I was gonna say Sex in the Future.
That's a different movie,
Yeah.
I think. But
That's my parody.
Nice.
The tweeted version, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Are we going to end on a stumped?
oh,
The
We're
Mark.
ending on a stunt.
This point goes. This point goes to Scott.
Yeah, exactly.
you may not have seen this one, but you've probably heard the title of it.
Okay.
It's How Stella Got Her Groove Back to the Future Part.
Nice.
Oh my
Yeah, Back to the Future Part
goodness
3. I knew it was
gracious.
Part 3 because he back to Hill Valley and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well done. That was fun. I enjoyed chatting with everybody about all the Macs I'm not buying.
Nice.
All right.
It was great having you, Mark.
Good to
Thank
see
you so
you.
much for coming.
Happy
See you, Mark.
99. All right.
thank you.
All right.
Good
later,
to see
guys.
everyone.
Bye.
Scott, not only is editor about to hit episode 100, Gilbert's got a note on here. 100 episodes of Narrated.
Yeah, and going. We've got what?
117.20 or something like that. What do you got? You're
What
way
am I
up
up
there
to
now.
here? Yeah, 123 will be coming the day after this episode. So yeah, kind of.
And what episode did you take over from Mark? It's a bummer Mark had to go, but
So I think episode 7 we were kind of joint hosts, and then let's see, episode 16. So I've been doing 100 episodes as the as the primary
not just
episode.
amazing. What's it been like doing 100 episodes of Narrated?
It's been kind of crazy, and partially inspired by you guys. Because you do this thing weekly, and not short episodes most of the time either.
At this point, I'm not even editing. I'm just throwing it on YouTube and then normalizing it to podcast levels and sending it to Gilbert.
Fair enough. But earlier this year did switch over to. We've been basically doing weekly since March.
Amazing.
For Narrated. Some of them are shorter review episodes and that kind of stuff. But it's crazy trying to keep up with the pace and all of that. So I give you guys a lot of credit for. And again, you do the video too, which is a whole nother level of complexity and prep and all of that.
Kind of, it's pretty plug and play now. But what you do, I think, is harder, and that's bringing in
Interviews.
guests
Yep.
and interviews
exactly.
way more frequently than we do. Can you walk us through like some of the process of the people that you get and booking them and scheduling? How does that go?
So, I have been really fortunate. Most of the people on the show are friends that are kind of panelists and come on and talk about, a book that they enjoy or that we've agreed together to read. I am trying to do more interviews. So we just had one with Emily Wu Zeller,
Which was great.
And spoiler, I do have an episode coming up with Jefferson Mays, which is Mark's favorite narrator there as well. So
Unbelievable. That's an unbelievable get. I cannot believe it. He's he's like GOAT status, and you scored this. I just blown away.
Yeah. No, very fortunate to get him, and it's fun. Been very fortunate in terms of reaching out. Kind of depending on who it is, I either reach out direct if contact information is very out there. Otherwise, sometimes we'll reach out through the publisher or what have you. And I mean, that helps. I mean, I'm usually timing it when a new book is coming out, so there's a vested interest by all parties to say yes. So I've been very, very fortunate in terms of folks being willing to, to appear on the show and be interviewed and that kind of thing. So
Who was the
it's been fun.
hardest? Who was the hardest guest to kind of line up an interview and get on the phone and start recording with?
I'm not sure too many have. I mean, there's probably been some. I suspect that if we did not have a pandemic, that I'm not sure I would have been able to get John Scalzi, because that was right around the timing of the pandemic. He usually does an in-person tour, and then kind of pivoted to a virtual tour. So, I'm not sure that he would have come on the show if, and again, nothing. I totally understand that wasn't the dynamic that they were traditionally going for, but
He made the whole pandemic worth it for you.
well, let's not go overboard here.
And you got Scalzi's peopled.
Yeah, okay, Gilbert.
Deep cut.
Scalzi's people.
That's right.
During
AKA Gilbert.
after that episode, I had sent Scott an autographed book by John Scalzi, and it had John Scalzi actually like dedicated to Scott, like customize it. And Scott was like dumbfounded that Scalzi, after the interview, he was like, "Oh, this is nice," but dumbfounded that, and I never told him for it was like a year plus that I waited to tell him that Scalzi got his address. And so the joke was, well, Scalzi's got people,
Yeah.
and so me and Mark were, and then now Scalzi's people is basically like, how do you get people's info and send them random things? Turns out I know an awful lot about that.
What? Gilbert sending people random things? That would
Yeah,
never
Javier sent. I'm trying to say Javier now because I'm afraid of you sent me saying I sound like your dad now, Javi. So, like I'm mad at you and your dad. But Javi was like, "Oh no, I gave Gilbert my new address. Now what kind of crap am I going to get?"
And now he knows you. It's not just an apartment. You could actually like leave big stuff at your a full size Green Day cutout.
I'll just say we also have your address.
This is true.
Yes. And you also have the minus Gilbert version of the Markive, which is fun.
Correct.
So, yeah, I received laundry detergent out of nowhere that nobody's copying to.
I think that was a genuine error.
You're welcome.
Oh, was that Javier?
No, it wasn't, but that's like a useful thing to get.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We did use it. We actually used it.
Amazing. All right, that's what I want to talk about. Gilbert, what else you got on tap?
Yeah, I mean, we were thinking about doing the draft, but I think the quiz ended up being a great replacement for that. And and also it also depends on. I know Scott has listened to a lot of the episodes, which I appreciate. He sent me his diagram of podcasts that he listens to, which I'm not. This isn't even a joke, guys. It outlines all the relationships between the podcasts too, like shared hosts and like what the flow is and subject matter.
Oh, like a web. Like a web graph?
Scott, will you share it with the Markive?
It might be a Venn diagram, but yes.
Amazing.
Was it a Venn diagram? I didn't see. I didn't really place it in that. It looked more like a flow chart, but it had Venn status, just without the circles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Nice. It's amazing.
I look forward to it. I don't know what this note means. On the notes, Gilbert, you have something that says indie pursuits. What do you mean by that?
Oh yeah, it depended on if Mark and Linus were still here. I wanted to talk more about what they're doing creatively and indie wise, and of course Javier. I know he and his brother do Watch Chess, and I wanted to talk about that. And I also wanted to ask Scott, potentially if he could take Narrated full time and quit his job, would he do something like that?
That is probably unlikely to happen in the near future, but
I mean, you're baller, I get that, but so it would take a big change. But
yeah, it would be. I mean, it would be interesting, and there's certainly we're in an interesting time. Not just for everybody. You see a lot out there in terms of people taking a different approach, and what do you actually want to do? And a lot of people making big moves to do different things, and so it's not.
So we're happy to announce Scott is quitting his job at Redacted.
Yeah, Javier too. Yeah, buy a house and just make an app. Make a weather app, Javi, and then
I'll just sell some NFTs.
Yeah,
Javi,
sell an NFT of watch chess.
Can we turn your house into
Whatever
a
that means.
TikTok influencer house?
You're welcome to.
All right. I'm moving in. I'm moving in next week.
I'm putting in a hot tub. I feel like that's like step number one.
Oh,
right?
oh yeah. I'm gonna just do my hot tub Twitch stream from your house.
I was just about to say that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Javier, you're very
popular.
This we didn't even talk about this even on the previous episodes, like when it happened. Javier, you no longer work at Twitch, but the Twitch leak, your name is all over the source code that leaked. How do you feel about this?
Okay, let's explain that a little more, because the way that you put it sounds a little weird, a little suspicious. I mean, I worked at
Yeah,
Twitch
it does.
for
It
4
sounded
years.
like it was your name responsible for the Twitch leak.
Sorry.
That's the way it was phrased.
Sorry, I'm
I wrote
not meaning to implicate you, but like,
I wrote a lot of code during those 4 years, and all the code leaked. So my name is in the code. Mostly because when you create a new file in Xcode, it
Commits
puts
and whatever.
your name. Yeah, also, and all the Git history, all the commit messages as well. It's not just the code. But if I said, fixing this effing bug, I don't curse in Git commits, but who knows what I wrote in 4 years in there. Yeah, I wonder if anybody's going to take the time to look that closely. But
how do you feel that
I'll
like
make a
your
book out of
work?
what you wrote.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the work that I did there. So that, maybe some people in this situation would be like, oh no, I hope people didn't look. I did a lot of crappy stuff, but I feel pretty good about the work that I did. So if other people want to look at it and get inspiration, and I've wanted to open source the apps that I've been working on. When I was at Twitter, I pushed for that. Not the Twitter app, the Fabric app that we made for developers.
Oh yeah.
There's always a lot of pushback for that. The Twitch app, it would have never happened, and
But
happened accidentally.
It happened. It is now. Oh
Amazing.
man. Awesome. Scott, has any of your work leaked? Can we talk about any now? Still no.
No. Scott is amazing.
No comment.
That's all we need to know.
All right, cool. Still redacted. Great. I think this has been our best episode yet. This has been the most fun I've had since the last time we did this. So I'm really excited. I'm so happy you all came to join us, and I only mildly leaked, stuff I shouldn't have. So I'm not Tom Holland leaking Marvel rumors, but I just get excited and I just want to talk about stuff, and I forget that this is not just a private phone call.
Yeah, hopefully I don't get a phone call from Twitch.
Did you sign an NDA or anything?
I mean, I did, but I don't think I said anything that wasn't,
Cool.
I don't know,
All right.
public knowledge.
Well, I mean, it's in the public sphere now.
It's already-
that part of the NDA is invalidated. So
Perfect.
interesting.
Yeah, I did wonder about the morality of, and legality of me, looking at the code that is now publicly available. Of course, it was obtained by not, legal means. But if I wanted to take a screenshot of the code and put it on Twitter and be like, let me show you this cool thing that I did. I haven't done that, and I don't think I'm going to.
When your
but
NDA expires, that would be a really cool, like, let me explain what I did here.
yeah, I mean, it'll be less and less relevant as time goes by. But even today, I mean, I can't think of. It's a little iffy, which is why I haven't done it. But it's not clearly wrong to me. I don't know.
The Javi coding masterclass. That's the series I want to see.
Awesome. On Twitch, no less. Stream it live on Twitch.
From the hot tub.
Yes.
From the hot tub.
Yes.
Twitch on Twitch.
All right, everybody. This has been
folks.
fantastic. Thank you again. Episode 99 on the road to 100. I can't believe we've made it this far, and thank you again.
Congratulations,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thank you, guys.
And Kyle, you are welcome to edit this one. I'll go ahead and send you the audio.
Okay. I'm just gonna slap it all together. All right. This has been Editor. Thank you to our guests, Linus, Mark, and introduced. I guess did we introduced you all so far? Say your names again one more time. Scott.
Or not.
Oh,
That's your
Scott
cue.
Ullery.
Javier.
Ooh.
All right,
No,
we're going to definitely
Javi.
edit those silences. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna keep them. I cherish them. Just
Stretch them out. Make it like 5 minutes long.
each of these moments.
And I'm Linus. And I'm Mark. There you go. And this has been Editor.
Thanks for
Did we
joining
say
us.
that already?
You say your name.
Who, me? Gilbert. I'm Gilbert still.
Yeah.
Thankfully, still.
And yeah, we'll see. Stay safe, everyone. Use all of the safety tools in your cars. Wear your seatbelts, and we'll see you next week, episode 100.
Peace.